Congratulations, your $1,400 third stimulus check bill has passed. Off to the president to sign into law on Friday. In there is FPUC extended all the way to September at $300 a week. But there's also a $10,200 twist. Yes, your first $10,200 of 2020 unemployment is tax-free. Meantime, there's a push underway for FPUC retro to be covered in the fourth stimulus package. FPUC, UI, PUA, how do they work? How do they apply? Enjoy this overnight's video on unemployment. Great news as FPUC is coming back for the World Tour return as everyone's a little bit exhausted from LWA. Good afternoon, everybody. What a great day of great news across the board. I'm so ecstatic for you. Second stimulus package is going to get approved. It's going to get approved in September. FPUC is going to be extended. The original FPUC, not this watered down LWA that everyone wants to put on a TWA plane and send it to, to the Bermuda Triangle. This is afternoon's LALATE, our 2-hour programming block that starts every day at 3:30 with a check, then goes to hazard pay, then this video, which is unemployment, FPUC, and all that wonderful stuff. And then after this, breaking news coverage about Hurricane Laura and a brand new video for this channel. Do me a favor, go to the Fun's channel and hit the like button on this video. It helps the algorithm. Really great news, boy, across the board. If you didn't watch the check about an hour ago on this channel, afternoon's LALATE. Second stimulus package is going to get approved. It's going to get approved in middle to late September. It's going to have the stimulus checks in there. It's going to have the enhanced unemployment benefits, FPUC extended. Oh, goodness. Why is it suddenly just rolling out? It's rolling out because there's a lot of distraction from two major events, the Republican National Convention and the Democrat National Convention. Republicans, Democrats, members of the House, cabinet, they're all saying that, hey, the reason why we couldn't get stimulus done was because there was these big things that cost a lot of money to do, these conventions, and they distracted everyone from this discussion. And so now, whether it's Mark Meadows or Tim Kaine or Nancy Pelosi's staff, her staff actually, or Democrats in the Senate or Republicans in the Senate, they all say the second stimulus package is going to get approved in September. Lord, I just thank God my feet were hurting from being dragged over the coals. Now, as FPUC, really, and by the way, stay to the end of this video because I have free money for you. I have another grant program. Hey, I have another grant program. So stay with me to the end of this video and I will debut it for you. All right, great news. 32 states are now approved for LWA. 32 states will offer and provide you $300 per week under LWA as of 12 noon today Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. This is incredibly great news. So the number keeps on growing. We're at more than, a couple million people that are now going to get these benefits. How does it work? How soon you get it? All this great news. Let's get to it. First, you're going to get $300 a week. Great news. Second, you're going to get the money much sooner than thought. You're going to get the money as early as within the next 7 days, unless you're in Arizona where it's already come to you. Third, if you're in Kentucky or Montana, you'll get an additional $100 because the state is throwing an additional $100 on top of it. 4, you're going to get at least 3 weeks. I mean, I'm just so ecstatic for you because that was really that was the craziest thing that FEMA's updated us initially. They said that we don't think we have enough money to even pay 2 weeks or 1 week. I was like, what? So now FEMA has recalculated everything. They threw Larry Kudlow out of the room. They brought in a real calculator and they said, hey, we have enough money for at least 3 weeks for 32 states, $300. Really, really great news. Then they also say that they may have enough money for 4 weeks in the first few states that applied. So it's just incredible. There are some states that have applied but have not yet been approved. Who are those? Delaware, District of Columbia, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas, Minnesota, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, North Dakota, Ohio, Oregon, South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming, have applied but have not yet gotten approval. Now, I mean, they're going to get approval, but it's just incredible. There's about $44 billion available, so it's there. The other thing that is a little confusing, and I detailed that yesterday, this is not good news, is that in some states, and we don't know what states they are, with the exception of Arizona, they're not paying the $300 back to the first week that LWA went live. They're paying $300 from the first week that they get approved by LWA. What do I mean? Well, LWA went live in late July, but some states, let's say, New Jersey may only get approved tomorrow. They're not going to say, okay, here's $300 back to late July and $300 for the first week of August and $300 for the next week of August. No, they're going to say, we're going to start giving you $300 this week and we'll pay you going forward. So some states are not doing retroactive LWA. This is different than retroactive FPUC, which I'll explain to you in a second. But retroactive LWA is not happening in some states, and we really don't know which ones. So this is incredibly great news. Now, there's about 55 million workers who are receiving unemployment benefits, but they have not gotten the money. Jobs are hard to find, ironically. There's about 11.2 million more unemployed workers than job openings, according to the Economic Policy Institute. But I've been detailing that there's really good news across the board for jobs. The issues at hand are that there are drops of COVID-19 cases in almost every state this week. And if numbers keep on dropping for at least, a couple more days or a couple more weeks, then those stay-at-home orders or those lockdowns, or what are called watch lists in California, will be lifted, and those counties will be able to do some businesses that they weren't able to do during the watch list. Let me give you an example. In California, for example, we have counties like LA County that's still on watch lists, so gyms can't open. You can't have in-house dining yet. Orange County, like the housewives, Orange County came off the watch list just a few days ago. So you can actually go in a gym, so gyms can reopen, they can make money. You can go in the dining room and dine inside. So when that happens, it means there could be more jobs. Now, what's important to understand is that if you're impacted by COVID-19, that doesn't mean you don't get benefits if the watch list happens. You have to understand with FPUC and PUA and UI, there's different wording. With PUA, for example, you can qualify for PUA if you have a reduced number of hours. Here's an example. Let's say you are a waiter in an Orange County restaurant that came off the watch list, and now you have more hours because they're doing in-place dining. Actually, waiter's a very bad example. An independent contractor for the restaurant. I don't know what it would be. You're the person who does the lamps from a lamp store that you own. I mean, it's just, I want it to be PUA. And so you have some hours more with the restaurant than you did last week, but you still have reduced hours than before the pandemic hit. You still qualify for PUA. You have to certainly disclose how much money you made, but you still qualify for PUA. So that's really the great news. Now, as we sit here today, and I start with, hey, great news about FPUC coming back. When is it going to come back? When will it work? And how would it calculate? Let me give you all the details. FPUC would come back in the second stimulus package, which would be approved in mid-September to late September. It's going to land somewhere between $400 to $600 a week. The hogwash of the Republicans are $300 a week. No one's going to do that. They don't even think that number makes sense. It's just a ridiculous, insane number. So no one's going to agree to $300 a week. It's probably going to be $400 to $600. I offered in my standalone bill $550. So I really, I would not be surprised if it landed somewhere in the $400 to $550 number. I don't think Nancy's going to go all the way down to 400. I think that's a pretty big drop. But I think it's going to get approved. You're going to get the money. So how does it work? And would it be retroactive? And how would you calculate it? Boy, I think what's going to happen is that when you have 23 something states, that are on LWA, and you could have almost up 30 or 40 by the time that FPUC is extended. I think what states will do is they will look at whether or not the FPUC bill will be retroactive. And let's make that very clear. The FPUC bill will be retroactive back to the date at which FPUC expired, which was late July. So that's really great news. Now, the other issue is how do you calculate against LWA if you've got some LWA money? So what they'll likely do is they will reduce whatever FPUC you get in the second round from whatever you got for LWA any respective week. Now, I got to tell you, even while I say that, I'm just like, these unemployment offices have very old computers. I mean, they're older than, Nancy Pelosi's line, the children are going hungry. They're older than some of the tracks in Mitch McConnell's 8-track tape. They're very old computers. I mean, they're so old that, last time they updated computers, Mitch McConnell was, dancing to Dwight Eisenhower's greatest hits. I mean, it's just, they're very old computers. And so to tell them to cross-calculate something against something else, it makes my back squirm. I hope they can do it. I don't know if they can, but I would hope the federal government did the calculation for them, because we know the federal government knows which states are getting the money, and the federal government knows how to cross-reference it. So, there you go. When would you see the money? Well, the good news is that, and this is again a technical issue, is that the FPUC could really land in your bank account within about 7 days after it becomes law. And these computer systems of these states are on course for the LWA numbers. So they've put the LWA numbers in their computer systems now. As I've always said, they can do single numbers. They can do 300, 400, 600, 500. They can do these numbers. And so when you add in the $600 bit, I think they can do it relatively quickly. It's not a complex calculation like Steve Mnuchin's. Boy, but I'm so happy for you. I mean, the Purple Power really pushed through. Standalone bill for second stimulus check, standalone bill for PUA, standalone bill for eviction moratorium. I mean, I'm just ecstatic for you. But where it's pushing, where you have done your achievement, is you have gotten the parties that be to say, hey, you got to do a deal. I mean, what are you doing? You got to start talking. You look like a bunch of idiots not talking. Okay, free money time. Free money time. Okay, City of Houston has some free money grants. Oh my goodness. And it's on a lot of moolah. I'm going to drop the link to the grant in the pinned comment that I write, LA writes, to this video. There's going to be a pin, and it's going to be in the pinned comment, the link to the grant page. Now, please don't email me and text me and DM me. Can you send me that link? I don't get that link. Where's the link? I can't find that link. Where? It's in the pinned comment to this video. It's City of Houston SBERP.org, and a lot of stuff after it. Applications must be submitted electronically through their web portal, which closes Friday, September 4th. Applications are not processed on a first-come, first-served basis. Remember, not processed on a first-come, first-served basis. So this is really good for news for you. You are ready to go. This goal is a resource that businesses economically impacted by COVID-19 may leverage to sustain their operations during and after the pandemic. Now, I want you to understand that when we use the word business on this channel, we all understand that that does not mean you have 25 employees. Businesses include self-employed individuals. Businesses include independent contractors. Businesses include just you. You're sometimes just a business. Oh, my goodness. Flies are just smacking the host today. So they wanted some grant money as well. So I want you to understand that you don't have to have, a business license. It can be you and your operation. You must be a for-profit business. Here are the qualifications. A for-profit business whose principal place of business is located within the city limits of the city of Houston for at least 1 year prior to March 1st, 2020. You must provide evidence of business revenue significantly decreased because of COVID-19 restrictions. So you have to substantiate that you actually are losing money due to COVID-19. And you had to have business revenue. Revenue less than $2 million, but you have to have some revenue. And you must be in good standing with the city requirements, property taxes, personal property, must be committed to completing the technical assistance component of this program, and local chambers of commerce working within city limits of Houston are eligible to apply. Congratulations, go get some of that free money. Do me a favor, go to the front of this video and hit that like button, hit it. You know, think of it as that politician who's really pissing you off this week, and just, go to the top of this channel and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, we didn't do that good yesterday. We only had like 2,000 subscribers, so come on already. Get that purple power going. Let's add 3 or 4 or 5,000 today. Our goal is to add 25,000 new subscribers in 2 weeks. So let's get it going. And then coming up after this is a special broadcast for my viewers in Texas, my viewers in Louisiana, and my viewers down in the Gulf. Hurricane Laura projected path, an LALATE special report. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more. Hashtag LALATE, hashtag write the bill. I write in 10 minutes the extension of FPUC benefits, as great news also comes out today about LWA. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is Afternoon's LALATE with big, exciting news about write the bill for an extension of FPUC and new details about LWA. Afternoon's LALATE is our 2-hour programming block that starts every day at 3:30 with the check, then goes to hazard pay, then FPUC, and finally rent eviction. Really exciting news across the board. First, here is the bill, which it took me all of 6 minutes, 8 minutes to write. It's called, the act shall be cited as the FPUC Extension Act. To be enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States Congress assembled. If you don't know what's going on, over the weekend, I had enough. Had enough with Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows claiming they would agree to a standalone bill for an extension of FPUC benefits, but have never written one. Never written one. Over a week of them saying, we would agree to a standalone bill for the extension of FPUC benefits. Okay, well, why don't you write one? And Nancy and Chuck don't want to do it. So what I did was the next best thing. I said, on behalf of the Democrats, I'll write the bill. And I did. And here you go right now. On behalf of the Democrats, here is the bill, which I'm waiting for Steve and Mark to reach out to me by the end of the day. If you don't, then I guess you didn't really ever intend to do a standalone bill. How would this work and how it would be done? Eligibility, Section 2. Page 2. There's 2 pages to it. In general, during the period beginning on the date of enactment of this act, the Department of Treasury shall send to U.S. residents eligible under federal pandemic unemployment compensation payments, FPUC extensions. Eligibility. Any U.S. resident currently on unemployment or pandemic unemployment assistance shall be eligible for a FPUC extension with states to determine eligibility. The amount. Very straightforward. The amounts paid to U.S. residents shall be as follows: $550 per week. In other areas, Section 3, in general, this act shall extend FPUC adopted in the CARES Act. Payments shall be retroactive back to the date of expiration of the CARES Act. And states may reduce payments as a result of benefits paid under lost wage assessments, the current one we're in. There you go. Here we go. Here we go. 6 minutes to write this. Steve Mnuchin, Mark Meadows, you say you want to do this, do it. For Democrats, you say you want to do this, do it. Have you done it? No. If you watched my video, less than an hour ago on LALATE Afternoons, I reran the quotes by Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows just over the last week, in which they said they would agree to a standalone bill with Nancy Pelosi for extension of unemployment benefits, but it was her fault that there wasn't a deal. Okay, on behalf of the Democrats, here is the standalone bill. Let's get it done. Now you see it. Have you written anything? No. So let's recap. As we sit here today, over 2 to 3 or 4 weeks, we have had an agreement between these two parties about extension of unemployment benefits. The agreement has been on the books for now almost a month. The issue, which is really not much of an issue, was that the Republicans were offering $400 and Nancy was offering $600, and that they couldn't get that done. Okay. And that, we're sitting here and we're wondering, okay, why all these weeks you can't get something so simply done? Well, the Republicans said, well, let's do a standalone bill. Here's the standalone bill. Has any Republican ever written a standalone bill for FPUC extension? No. Has any Democrat ever written an extension for FPUC benefits? No. And so it causes us to wonder, well, are you just a lot of bullcrap? We'll know by the end of the day. If no Republican actually writes this, then we know it's a bunch of bullcrap. Now, while we're talking about bulls, let's talk about the Blue Dogs. The Blue Dog Coalition, they all called out Nancy Pelosi about not doing a standalone bill for extension of unemployment benefits. Did they do one? No. How about those 113 new Democratic coalition led by the Democrats out of Virginia and California? They wanted a standalone bill, and they wrote Nancy a letter on Friday. She said sorry, and took the letter, lined the birdcage with it. Okay, so now that you've been blown off, are you just going to sit back and do nothing? Apparently. They're not writing a standalone bill as well. So there's either a lot of people that get bullied very easily in this group, a lot of wusses, or a lot of people that just say things and never do it. Your reaction has been incredible. That's where the great news is, that you as viewers have realized, hey, this is so simple. This is so simple, and these people are saying things and not doing things. They say they can do it with a standalone bill, but they don't write a standalone bill. They say that the other side's responsible for not doing a standalone bill, but they haven't done a standalone bill. And ultimately, a lot of people saying you didn't do it, but none of them did it. I did it. We did it. So why can't they? Now, what's really quite interesting about this is what I detailed yesterday. And I want to do that math for you a little bit more before I have incredible great news about LWA. The math about not paying unemployment benefits, enhanced unemployment benefits, is absolutely outrageously disgusting. Let me explain what's going on. In all these weeks that Nancy Pelosi has not gotten you a deal for the extension of unemployment benefits, guess how much money you've lost because of her? Which benchmark do you want to use? You want to use Steve's $400 a week, and you want to use Nancy? Let's use Steve's $400 a week. $400 a week. Okay. By the end of August, we will have lost 4 weeks of FPUC because it expired in, late July. 4 weeks. Okay. Guess when they come back into session? They come back in session like September 18th, September 15th. So there's no way that even if they voted and approved something that day, that the money would land your bank account the next morning. So you're going to lose 4 weeks of September as well because of Nancy Pelosi. Okay, 8 weeks. 8 weeks at $400 a week. $3,200. Nancy Pelosi has cost you $3,200 by the end of September. And that's just for one person. Husband and wife, both suffering the same consequences, $6,400. It's really crazy. Now, a lot of husbands and wives also have children that are of adult age and they're staying at home with them, and they're on unemployment benefits, and they would have qualified. I mean, if we're doing like a family of 3, we're talking about over $10,000 that Nancy Pelosi is costing Americans. Children are going hungry, as she would always say in her press conferences. Children are going hungry. No, American is getting screwed by you, Nancy. It's not children going hungry. People should have had these unemployment benefits in their hands, but because of your unwillingness to negotiate a standalone bill because you wanted $600 a week or $400 a week, no. I don't really think that was really what's going on with Nance, what she was really doing is trying to do the bailout for her buddy Andrew in New York, for Chucky Schumer, and her bailout for Gavin, and that was putting their interests first for free money for state of New York, free money for California, when they can go loan money, they can go borrow. There's a whole lending institution set up just for them, just for this pandemic, called the Mainstream Lending Program, established by the Federal Reserve, established by Jerome Powell. Go borrow. No, we don't want to borrow. We want free money. We want free money. And we want to have our free money hold up your unemployment benefits. I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm even saying it. It's crazy. So thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars are being held up because of Nancy Pelosi, who, by the way, was interviewed today. Did she talk about unemployment benefits? No. Was interviewed yesterday. Did she talk about unemployment benefits? No. She was asked about the Blue Dogs and the New Age Coalition, or New Trans Coalition, or New Euro House Coalition, whatever they're called. She was asked about them on Sunday, and she said, "Oh, we're in sync. We're in sync. Where's the unemployment benefits coming? Wait till January." July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Seven. She wants you to wait 24 weeks. She wants you to not get unemployment benefits for 24 weeks while she figures out how to negotiate. It's strategically not in her best interest to negotiate this way, as she said on Friday. She wants you to wait 24 weeks to get unemployment benefits? Is she mad? I mean, I've heard crazier things in my life, but this is insane. What's also really sort of the flip side of the situation is good news. Actually, really great news, and it makes Nancy look even more ridiculous. Remember when Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin said they're going to walk out of the negotiation room because the president was going to do an extension of unemployment benefits by executive order because Nancy was being impossible? Well, A, she was being impossible. B, he did it. And guess what? C, more than half of U.S. states have now applied for unemployment benefits from LWA, which is the new word, underwritten by FEMA. For the first time today, right now, 10 minutes into this video on Afternoons at LALATE, we have incredibly great news from FEMA, which is completely contradictory from what FEMA had said for over the last 5 days. And remember, I was always quoting FEMA. This was not my words. I was quoting FEMA. FEMA had always said that those later states that were applying may not get enough, may not get 3 weeks of benefits, may only get 2 weeks of benefits or 1 week of benefits. Totally different today. FEMA is now saying that of these states, which are now 26 states approved, they're 26 states approved for LWA, they're now saying they have enough funds for at least 3 weeks, but likely not more. Wow, great news. So 26 states, which are now approved for LWA, which includes California, now will likely get 3 weeks of unemployment benefits, and perhaps the first few ones that applied, like Arizona, will get 4 weeks. This is incredibly great news. Now, how about that $100 on top of it? It still remains only 3 states. Oh, excuse me, it's still only 2 states. Someone said North Carolina, West Virginia, but not according to CNBC. CNBC still says Kentucky and Montana are the 2 states that are giving the $100 benefits on top of that. So this is incredibly great news. Which of the 26 states? I got to tell you. Alabama, Alaska, California, Colorado, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, and Vermont. Those 23 states are approved, and according to FEMA's current data, they do have enough money to pay 3 weeks of $300 for those states, of which 2 of the states, Kentucky and Montana, will throw in $100 on top of that. What incredible great news. It's great news in a week in which, Nancy Pelosi's doing nothing, and suddenly it's all sort of flipped very quickly. This is how government works. I mean, when the executive order, when Steve and Mark walked out of the room and says, we're going to do these things by executive order, Everyone thought the president was going to fund LWA by money from Treasury, not from FEMA money. Well, it appeared that Mnuchin and Meadows clearly understood where the money was going to come from, and that it was clearly FEMA money that the president had the authority to touch, not Treasury money. And that ultimately, Nancy has done nothing. Nancy has gotten you nothing. So as we sit here, late August, we're going to be the month of August, basically, for benefits. The president will have gotten you $900. The Republicans will have gotten you $900, and Nancy will have gotten you. It doesn't look good. I don't know what she's doing. Fellow Democrats think it's insane. It's insane in many regards. One, she's getting you nothing. Two, it's making fellow Democrats look like idiots. Why is the chief negotiator for the Democrats getting nothing and now sitting back and thinking that's fine? It's not fine. Now, perhaps her negotiation strategic move is that let's wait till FEMA runs out, which, as you know, that has not changed. FEMA will run out of funds in 3 weeks, which you have to look at the calendar, but I think it's like the first week of September. FEMA is going to run out. At that point, so far, but I don't have everyone's checkbook. So far, it doesn't look like there's any other funds for the president to pull from. Maybe he's found another fund. Maybe he's found another allocation of money. If he has, that would be his next default to. But if he hasn't, then that's why you need the Purple Wonders bill. You need the bill. You need the bill done now. FPUC extension. And when you talk about $550 per week as my proposal versus Nancy's $600 a week versus Steve Mnuchin's $400 a week, anyone that really goes to the mat over a difference of $75, a difference of $100, a difference of $55, so that no one would get benefits for 2 months, 3 months, that shows an idiocy. I mean, it really does. I hate to be critical like that, but it really does. How can Nancy Pelosi sit back and say, I'm going to go to the mat and never move on $600 a week, while the other side says, okay, let's negotiate. I'm never going to move on $600 a week. But every week you do that, Nancy, people become homeless. People need the $600 or $500 or $400 per week. And what she doesn't seem to grasp, and what anyone who's negotiating like that doesn't seem to understand, is that people's ability to afford their living is dependent upon generally how they were before the situation occurred. And the case of employment is based upon how they were employed. They were employed and they got a certain paycheck. That paycheck is gone. So now they need benefits. Those benefits are now gone. They're evaporated. They can't live on $167 a week. And so for you to tell them you're going to just hold out on the negotiation every week, well, where are they going to come up with the $400 that's missing this week? Where are they going to come up with the $400 next week? Every week is another $400. After 4 weeks of it, it's $1,600. Where do you expect them to come up with the $1,600 you're not giving them? They won't. They'll be homeless, as they are. And until she gets offered her darn script about the children going hungry, she's not going to understand that this has not been a good move. Now, I haven't covered this that much, and I got 17 minutes in this video, but I'm going to drop one comment right here and right now. There's another guy running for president. His name is Joe Biden. Has he told you how much your stimulus checks will be? No. Has he told you how much your enhanced unemployment benefits will be? No. Has he told you what he's going to do with rent eviction moratoriums? No. Has he told you what he's going to do with FPUC? No. Has he told you what he's going to do with PPP? No. Has he told you anything for stimulus? No. I don't know what's going on with Democrats this month. They don't do anything or don't want to talk about anything. And I can't imagine someone running for president this week and not telling us anything. He is quoted as being, when asked about stimulus checks and unemployment, that he would, give something that's beneficial, give something that helps. Joe, numbers. Numbers. I understand that the economy may change in the next few weeks, but give us numbers for now. Numbers. We need to know what you people are doing. What I'm doing is reminding you to go to the front of this channel and hit that subscribe and alert button. I'm on top of the numbers. You're on top of the numbers. We're understanding this. We understand what's going on, but hopefully they do soon, because we can't keep on holding on for this. Hopefully they get it very soon and very quickly. So hit that subscribe and alert button. Thank you for last week. We reached 100,000 subscribers. Never thought 200,000 subscribers. Never thought it would happen. 111, 118 days, 3.5 months for this channel. Thank you. Our call to action last Saturday was, let's see if we can add 25,000 new followers in the next 2 weeks. We had 11,000 in 2 days. So thank you. Let's keep it going. Let's try to get 25,000 subscribers in the next 2 weeks from last Saturday. And coming up next is rent eviction moratorium. Something the president could do. Has he done it? No. Will he do it this week? Hopefully. Stay informed, stay motivated, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.